Hey guys, this is Reese Deans of the Deansy Boy Show, and it's a brand new podcast. And today, for you, the football listeners, right here, right now, it is the Football Side of Life podcast show. Here, the first episode right now. And so, this is just a brief introduction and a little topic that I've got under my belt just to talk to you about. Just to say that I've been meaning to get football on the podcast show or on the videos. I know I got the away day special, but to talk about football in general instead of professional wrestling or films, it's a big passion of mine to actually speak of my team or any other football teams that I got my thoughts and opinions on, etc., etc. So I'm glad in a way that we've got to this point where I can actually come on the show and actually talk about football or life in general. But nah, it's all about football. It's about football life. It's the football side of life, and that's what it's going to be about. It's just about football life in general. So the first topic I'm going to talk to you about, and the only topic I'm going to talk to you about, is what is going on at Merthyr Town Football Club. Merthyr Town Football Club, to me, it's one of the biggest clubs in Welsh football, along with Cardiff City, along with Swansea, Newport, Wrexham. I always try to say Barry Town is one of the biggest clubs in Welsh football as well. So it's up there in one of the top 8, top 10 Welsh football clubs. And what's going on right now is that there's a financial crisis. Players have been let go. Only 3 or 4 of the original senior members of the squad are left, and all the rest are youth players. They had to go and play football for Merthyr because they're not getting paid enough. The CEO getting sacked because he was on £50,000 a year or per annum. So hopefully I'm speaking correctly here. Now the CEO is taking him to court, which is going to happen in February time, and also the president and the chairman are getting into trouble because they're taking responsibility and they're saying that don't worry, we'll get through this, we'll bounce back. But no, the fans. How ironically, this is actually a fan-run football club and it's run by the supporters. But I think, from what I gather through the papers, through the information, I think it's businessmen who claim they're Merthyr Town fans who support them with their lives, and they're just looking to get a penny in their pockets. That's all I think. No offense to the supporters, no offense to the actual people working behind the scenes who claim they are, and they are clearly. But when you get a businessman who just want to come in and then take over football aspects, and they think, this is the money draw, this is the big leagues, and we're gonna take every single penny that we can find. So what I gathered here through the papers, through social media, through anything in particular, I noticed that Merthyr Town, being a big club and all, they've actually folded once before, and I think they weren't called Merthyr Town. I think they were called Merthyr Saints. I think they were called. I'm not too sure. I know they were Merthyr Town before, but the story goes that the previous Merthyr Town were called Merthyr something, and they reformed again to reform Merthyr Town Football Club, and now the crisis has sparked across Wales, and especially the UK football nation, and it's very upsetting. And oh, wait a minute, just looking it up now, it's called Merthyr Tydfil FC. Merthyr Tydfil started in 1945 and then he dissolved in 2010, so they reformed as Merthyr Town Football Club, which started in 1909 and they reformed in 2010. Sorry, I got there in the end. But the fact of the matter is, majority of the players have just walked out without getting paid because of the money that's just been cashed out and never to be seen again. It's very difficult to run a football club, especially in the league like the English Football League, especially in non-league system. Merthyr Town are one of 6 Welsh football clubs who play in the English League system. So of course you've got Cardiff, Swansea, Wrexham, Newport. Of course, Merthyr Town are one of them, and also the other one is Colwyn Bay. So there are the only 6 Welsh clubs in the English Football League, and of course Merthyr Town have had their financial difficulties, not once but twice now, where they struggled to find the money, and hopefully this is where I do not wish upon them, but I just think, you know, it's very hard for me to say this because it may sound harsh, but it's not. But I don't want them to fold. But what is coming down to this financial crisis, they may as well have to fold again and start the third time, and then third luckily they'll bounce back and reclaim their status as Merthyr Town Football Club, or even AFC Merthyr, whatever they want to be called. But you know, Merthyr Town, it's such a big club, you know, and it's a lovely club. I've been there twice. I've been to see Merthyr twice, once away, once at home, and of course they were all both played by Barry Town, and they were in the Welsh Cup and also the Nathaniel MG Cup. The Welsh Cup, I think it was in the third round or even the second round. I can't really remember. It was back in 2011 or 12. We went up to Penyderyn Park. It was a group of 20 Barry Town supporters who just sung our hearts out, you know, and we watched Barry Town beat Merthyr at their ground 3-0 after I don't know how many years the last time we played against Merthyr, but it was just such a great day for football. And one of my clips of that game is actually on YouTube. Just go look it up. It's Barry v Merthyr, Deansy Boy Show, etc. Just look it up. It was a good day for football, you know. They were very welcoming, you know, very humble, and very glad that Barry Town they got to see Barry Town play against Merthyr again. It was really awesome, and especially like I said about the facilities, you know, it was well presented, and of course they got a new stand being built, but because of the financial situation we don't know what's going on there. The club shop was lovely. I want to go and buy a Merthyr Town top, but still do for a marathon just to give money to the club, because you know they got the nice shirts, but also they need the money, so I'm more than happy to spend money for them, truly. And the second time I saw Merthyr was at Jenner Park. It was in the Nathaniel MG Cup, and They no pun intended, they just took us to town. They were the true town club that day. They beat us 7-1. I mean, put it bluntly, they beat us 7-1. And ironically, one of their players who scored the most goals was Kay McLagan, and he goes on to sign for Barry Town in the future, and he's one of our top goal scorers. How ironic is that, you know, just how Kay McLagan scored against us, and he's a Barry boy, and now he's gone back to playing for his local side. It was just, it was... What a day of football. What a night of football, actually, that was. I mean, it was very tough to swallow, but good on Merthyr Town. On that day, they proved how professional they were and how they were up for a challenge. So, yeah, I mean, I sound down about this because I really feel bad for Merthyr Town. I got people who support the club, who support the team. And I remember when we went to Newtown, and we were there, and it was just a few days after the announcement that of all this financial situation was going on. You know, just when we lost 3-0 to Newtown, we went back and we sat in the clubhouse and we were just watching the scores and keeping track. And when Merthyr Town went up to Cheshire, all I hear was 5-0, 6-0, 7-0, 8-0, 9-0, 10-0, 11-0, 12-0, 13-0, and then 13-1. You know, just losing 13-1 and how much effect it caused to the team, and especially that the youth players, who some probably hardly played first team football, you know, it was just one big step and huge responsibilities, but you know, I give a lot of credit for the fans to stay behind them, you know, and for the players to say, for the youth players to stay true and say, look, we're gonna do our best and everything. And only 3 or 4 of the senior players who actually stayed, you know, I give credit to them for staying as well. But I don't blame the others for not getting paid. I mean, in football now, it's just blood money, you know, and I don't blame the players. I blame the people who are working behind the scenes. You know, it's very it's very complicated and it's very upsetting, to say this, when you try to accuse the players for demanding money. No, they got jobs, they need to get paid, they have every right to. But I spoke to one of the Merthyr Town fans. I hope he forgives me. I hope he actually is happy for me to mention his name, Andrew Evans. He told me a lot. He spoke to me about what was going on in the club, a few things that I will not say, because just in case things are not said already that I can't really get into trouble with, or he can't get into trouble with. So, the thing about Merthyr, I think, just by looking at the financial situations where they're playing in Wales and they have to go away to England all the time, and it's going to cost them money, it's costing the players money. So I thought to myself, well, this is my opinion, not humble opinion. This is my opinion of what I think Merthyr Town should do. Some people may agree, some people disagree, but all I want is just for you guys to say, I respect your opinion, but this is how I feel, this is the right direction, end of. But to all the Merthyr Town fans, or all the football fans out there, leave a comment of your opinion below, and I'll see what you guys said, and I'll respond. I think fair enough, because we got a right for an opinion, and we can only learn to agree or disagree. So here's my opinion. I think Merthyr Town should come back to the Welsh League. And now hold on a minute, just let me clear this opinion, and let me give you a brief statement of why they should. Now, a lot of people have said the Welsh League is a nowhere league. It leads to nowhere. Especially, where do they go after this? And a lot of people say, do you get promoted to the English system after being champion to the Welsh Premier League? No, it's a different league entirely. It's like the Scottish League, the Irish League, the Spanish League, any other league in the world. The Welsh Premier League and the Welsh divisions, the Hugh Gray's Alliance, and the Southern Welsh League, Welsh Division 1, 2, 3, etc. It's its own league entirely, and they're having more development now of expanding the league and making it more simple, etc. But I do not know the full brief idea or plans of what's going to happen with our own league. But simply, a lot of people say we're going nowhere, it's getting nowhere. But I think if we had Merthyr Town back in the Welsh League, of course they'll have to start from the bottom again and work our way up, or even for brief luck apply to go into Division 3 or just below Division 3 and keep going up. And for a big club like Merthyr, if they were in the Welsh Premier League, they'll be up there with TNS, Barry, Bangor, Connors-Key, etc. And a lot of people are saying, we'd rather play in the Welsh English League because English league system because it's more money. But I mean, if you have to look at Merthyr's situation, where they've had now two financial situations, and especially Merthyr as well, they've had financial crisis, same as Cardiff. It's all costing money and everything. So what makes a difference if they're in the English or the Welsh League, simply or not? But I've always had a feeling that Merthyr Town will bring in interest and benefit into the league, and I've heard what Andrew told me is that some of the supporters will walk out because it's not fair or it's a different league. Well, then I would say that that's a selfish move. That's a selfish act. If some said, if they go into the Welsh League, we'll walk out. You're supposed to be supporters and stay true to the club no matter what. And if you have a look at the Welsh Premier League, you get easy. If you win the champions, the title in the Welsh Premier League, or if you become second, third, whatever, you go and play in European competition. Especially that Merthyr always mentioned about Atlanta FC, when they went up against them, etc. And you think, well, if you want to relive those European days, why don't you just come to the Welsh Premier League, expand in Wales, become a big side in the Welsh League, and it's a very promising team to go up against, especially the likes of Barry and TNS, which is proper competition football. And for Merthyr Town to be in there, it will give. It would take the league seriously, and it will also take Merthyr seriously. But that's what I think. And I mean, why is it so special for Welsh teams, every single Welsh team, to come into the English League? You might as well call it the English and Welsh league system. But I don't want that. I want Wales to have its own independence in sports, have its own league, have its own system, especially like the Scottish League as well. I mean, the thoughts of moving different countries to other different teams from different countries, to other leagues, is just stupid now. And I think you got Cardiff, Swansea, Newport, Wrexham in the English league system, and now you got the Welsh League, which is looked down upon, saying it's a crap league, we'll be playing crap football. It's no different for the English league system with they got the non-leagues. It's no different. Any football team can have a crap day or good day. You just gotta go for the football, for the passion of it. It's not about who plays good or who plays bad. It's about being there for your team and being there for football. If you're just out there to seek glory for wins, then I can easily just point out and say you're the glory fan, you're the plastic fan. You've got no passion, whatever, for football. And especially for Merthyr, I think they'll do a lot of success in the Welsh League. That's my opinion. But if some people don't think that way, then fair enough. I can respect your opinion. But what I think goes this way, as they might start again, I don't know, as AFC Merthyr or AFC Merthyr Tydfil, Merthyr Town, whatever. But they'll get a lot of success, and there will be money coming in. And also, it will be a steady balance of trying to keep it steady. I mean, look at TNS. They got a lot of success. They've won a lot of titles. So have we. And I think it's a lot of teams are trying hard to make a lot of clubs are trying to make the Welsh Premier League more serious and are trying to make it more respectable and up there with the Scottish Premiership and the English Premiership. It's not hard. I think it just needs a lot of improvement, and it'll help everyone in the community, whether it be any football clubs or the league itself. But hey, that's what I think on Merthyr Town and being in the Welsh League. But in all, I've spoken to a lot of Barry Town fans, and I think we've said a lot that if Barry Town weren't playing on this day, and if Merthyr Town were home or away, we'll travel to Merthyr or whatever they were and go and support the almighty Merthyr Town, because they deserve our support. They deserve to not be in this situation as they are. Money and football never ever can work together. It's a very bad formula, and of course you've seen all the effects from the likes of Portsmouth, Hereford, I mean us, for example, Barry Town, but if some people said, well, you should be in the English League, it's no different being in the English League or Welsh League or not. So, but in all, sending out my message to Andrew Evans and all the other Merthyr Town supporters: stay true to the club no matter what. Keep the faith, stand up for Merthyr, keep fighting. We will get there in the end. Up the Merthyr Town. Come on, the lads. And especially now, just to conclude on this podcast, the football life, the bright side of football life. I forgot what I called the thing, but it's just to say that this is the new episode. This is a pilot, a test, just to see how it goes. And so this is the bright side of football life, the Football Life podcast. I am your host, Rhys Deans. Thank you for listening. All the best to Merthyr Town and the fans out there, and all the rest in the football squad for the rest of the season. And of course, my next episode, I'll be talking about the Wales managerial position, and then the next episode, then I'll have a think. Either I'll talk about Everton, my other club, or another football team or club or person to discuss. It's gonna take there. It's gonna get there. It will take its time, but we'll get there. So this is the brand new The Football Side of Life podcast. I am your host, Rhys Deans. Thank you for listening, and I'll speak to you very soon.